Because I have to say, when I invited you and you agreed to come, and when reality set in, I thought, what have I done? It's quite intimidating having to interview an iconic media personality like you.
Oh, thank you. Well, I mean, I'm just plain old me, and yeah, just, grew up in a small town as well, so lots of common ground.
Yes, I know. So reading your book, it felt like you were brutally honest the whole way through. Were you?
I was. I had to be brutally honest. I also, and that's why at times I perhaps even get a little flowery in the way I write, because, which when I read it now, I reread it about 2 weeks ago, and I sort of thought, but I know when I was writing at the time that was my way of distancing myself from the story. I almost wrote it as though I was writing it about somebody else, because some of it was so shameful, and I mean, I couldn't tell the story. I had, as a child growing up in a home of domestic violence, you live with this endless fear. I mean, that's all you live with. You live with silence. You live with, your entire life is determined by your father's sobriety and whether, so you're always living on high alert. Comes home, is he drunk? How drunk? What is the night going to be like? So I wanted to get it out. I wanted you the reader, to be taken on the journey of what it's like to grow up in a home of domestic violence, and then the shame and the humiliation as a woman, being caught up in it, thinking all my life that it would never happen to me.
You were the eldest?
Yes. And I think as the eldest, you take on that responsibility as the oldest to sort of look after the younger, the siblings.
So when you weren't at home, did you feel worried about your siblings? Did you feel like...
I did, and especially when I went to boarding school. I felt as though I breathed that sort of sigh of relief, like, oh, I got away, I'm free. But there was the other side, who was going to pass my mother a pillow out the window so she could sleep outside at night,
And who was going to protect your siblings?
No, Tracy, I don't want to cry. This is a book fair. We're having a lovely time.
I'm sorry, but
don't mind.
And if you start...
It's ridiculous. It's 20... it's all these years later, and still, it just reminds me, and I think that's one thing I learned in the book, is that it's just healing is an endless... thank you, a hanky. Healing is an endless process. You never... Because people want to know up front, has it been cathartic? Yes, it has been enormously cathartic, but, I started out writing the book knowing that I was mostly healed, and yet, I still sit here, talk after talk, and I still sit crying. Oh, my word. Okay, so move on, Tracy.